Okay, we're live. Cool. Hey everybody, this is John Comer. I'm here with Nicola, one of our lead developers, and we're having our weekly Game Credits Hangout. This week's going to be a little different. It's just the two of us, and this week we're going to tailor things short and sweet to indie game developers or people who own gaming companies and are developing games. Right now, we want to speak directly to you. We know a lot of you maybe seeing us for the first time. This might be the first time you've heard about Game Credits. And so this is normally a weekly hangout to give updates and things to our large community of gamers and developers. But today we want to speak to the new developer and talk to you exactly about exactly what we're doing and why you might be interested in learning more and maybe getting involved with Game Credits. So basically, in a nutshell, if you're a game developer, you have probably invested quite a bit of money and time and resources into developing. Maybe you have games already out there. Maybe you haven't launched them yet. But you're probably going to be looking at certain platforms, basic platforms like Google Play, iOS, Steam. And while those are successful platforms, there are some disadvantages when it comes to creating monetization and creating revenue for your company. Because obviously, if you put time and money in, you want to get money back out. And one of the biggest disadvantages of those large platforms is that, generally speaking, they take about 30% of your revenue. 30% of your game sales, and if you're doing in-game monetization, they take 30% of that as well. There's also disadvantages in that often you have to wait in line. There's a waiting period before you can actually be accepted or have your games ready for download. So there's a lot of things that kind of impede how quickly you can generate revenue as an indie game developer, and also how much you actually get to keep. Game Credits is a decentralized platform. We have a community of developers and people working directly on this that I think is well over 100 people now. And we have literally a growing community of millions of gamers who have access to our platform. And that's just increasing on a monthly basis. But what we provide is a way that you can actually join our Game Hub, and it's practically free. So you can have exposure to millions of gamers who might be interested in downloading your game and playing your game, but you don't have to pay us 30% of your revenues to do so. So right out of the box, there's some percentage advantages for indie game developers. The next advantage is that we have created, and Nicola's going to talk about this because he's one of the main reasons it was created, a Unity Game Developer Center. It's basically a plug-and-play API where you can interface directly with it, and gamers can then use game credits to buy your games, and they can use game credits to actually buy your in-game content or your in-game merchandise. So, like I said, we have a platform of right now hundreds of games and millions of gamers that's continuing to grow. It's brand new. So the people that we have on there right now are literally kind of in our beta launch. But you have access to these gamers who can use game credits, and they can purchase your game use game credits to download your game. They can use game credits to purchase. And here again, you don't have to pay the 30%. So you get to keep the lion's share of that right back into your pocket. Another big advantage of our platform is that your gamers, or the gamers using our platform, using game credits to purchase games and to purchase in-game content, they can move their game credits from one game to the other. So while there might be other developers who have hundreds of games and millions of users using our platform, you now have access to those users. So they might take their game credits from another game, and they can use it in your game. They could use it in your game and then move it out and use it in another one of your games. So from a gaming perspective, or gamer's perspective, they have the advantages of being able to move their currency around from game to game to game. And as a developer, you can take advantage of that. The 30% savings that you're getting, that you're not having to pay us to use the platform. A lot of our developers, our indie game developers, are going to be offering discounts to players so that they can encourage more adoption of our platform. So it's a win-win. And with the money those gamers save, if you choose to offer those discounts, they can then pour that savings right back into more downloads, more merchandise. So it's kind of a revolving cycle of advantages for gamers and indie game developers. And all of this is backed by blockchain technology. I'm not sure if you're familiar with blockchain technology, but it is basically a ledger technology that keeps track of everything that's done. So every transaction, every purchase, every time game credits is moved or used, it is tracked and in the public ledger of the blockchain technology that we're using. And that also creates a very secure interface so that you don't have to worry about hacks and manipulation, because everything is registered and everything is secure on the blockchain. So those are just a few of the advantages right out of the gate that we're offering. One of the reasons that we've had so much excitement, our community has really been growing almost faster than we can keep up with it. I know Nicola is working his butt off to try to keep up with the demand and people wanting all these things to be here immediately so they can start using them. So I just wanted to give like a brief overview. I'm going to turn it over to Nicola, and he can talk about some of the technical aspects of our platform, our API, our Game Developer Center, maybe talk to you about some of the advantages and what you can do with the Game Developer Center if you decide to use that, and some of the languages and technologies that we're using right now. So how you doing, Nicola?
I'm all right. Okay.
I know you've been working. You said you're a bit tired, so everybody can cut Nicola a little slack. We've been working him 18 hours a day.
I hope.
Why don't you talk to developers about the platform from a technical standpoint?
First, thank you for a wonderful introduction into the subject. I think I couldn't have said it better than you. Everything you said is true about game credits and the general platform, but I want to talk a bit about some of the subjects that can interest the developers like me and people that do what I do day to day. So you talked about the why you should use game credits from an economic perspective. Like we don't have such a big fee, like 30%, like Android Play, Google Play, or something like that. But there's also the question of open source and proprietary software. That's always an interesting subject in developers community.
Right.
We try to be as open as possible. You know, but when you use Google Play or the Apple Store, their assistance for monetization, not only they take the fee, but also you have to. They have very strict terms of use. You know, you cannot use any other mean of monetization except theirs. So if you use if you decide to implement Bitcoin purchases into your game, they will ban you from their stores. And there's also always the question of privacy. Blockchain technology allows you to be anonymous. If you use our API, you cannot stay as anonymous because obviously you have to register for the developer center, but we try to be as private as possible, and we do not require any additional information from the developers except their email and like the most basic information. We do not require addresses or real names or anything like that. So we try to be as open source, and we have very open rules, so we're not as strict. Only thing developers have to abide is the rules of fair play. So it's hard to define what really is fair play. We try to stay open source, but if you try to scam someone, we will probably take some action to prevent that, you know. But there will always be scammers, and we do not believe that if you control everything that you can stop people from scamming. So that's the way it is. You asked about the technologies we use here at GameCredits. We value something I like to call software craftsmanship. So we value stuff that allows us to make things easier, and faster. So we use mostly Python for our core products like the API and the wallet, because Python is really a popular language these days because it allows you to make stuff fast. You don't have to think about implementation as much. You can think about the general idea and the algorithms and all the interesting stuff. You don't have to spend hours and hours implementing something you have in your head. You can do it in like a matter of minutes, maybe. I don't know. It's not that easy, but it's much easier than using like C++ or anything that's other popular technologies. So our API and our web wallet are programmed mostly in Python. Our desktop client is a fork of the old Bitcoin wallet, so it's obviously made in C++. And there's been a lot of people that in our community that made some modifications of that wallet. So it started off as a clone of the Bitcoin wallet, but it's something totally different now. And it's always evolving because also Bitcoin has a great developer community, and they're making constantly changes to the wallet, and we have to keep up with them. So we're making regular updates on that side. Also, because I don't know how much people know, but we are quite like we have many people across all time zones, and we have developers in different cities. And obviously, we cannot all work on the same technology and same stuff. So people use what they know. So we have the Android wallet, which is obviously programmed using Java. We have upcoming game habits made using PHP, C++ for the desktop wallet, and that's it. We try to also we spend a lot of time automating things, because I think Abraham Lincoln said, if you give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, I'll spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. So I believe that's the best thing. We sharpen our axes. I don't know. We try to automate everything to get prepared for anything that can come up. And I am a lazy programmer by nature, so I try to make things as easy as they can be. So I don't like spending too many hours on useless stuff. So that's why we lately started looking into technologies like Docker and stuff like that. We also use DigitalOcean servers because I think they are the best provider when it comes to simplicity of deploying new servers. They call it droplets there because I don't know why, but you can like launch a new droplet in a matter of seconds. And also we try to automate all those boring administrative tasks regarding deployment and stuff like that. So we use Docker, and I think that's mostly it. I don't know what can I tell about it anymore.
Well, maybe you can talk a little bit about. I think you have me on a browser there because I'm hearing myself twice.
Well, I don't know.
Okay, I'm just getting a little bit of feedback. One thing I think if you can hit on, Nicola, is talk maybe about the developer center and what's inside of that. So like,
that's a good
once the developer actually plugs in, what do they get? What do they get to monitor in the game developer center?
Nice. Okay, so if you don't know, the developer center is basically the interface to the API and the place where developers can get statistics about their purchases and sales. So when you like download our Unity plugin and you plug it into your game, into your Unity game, any purchases that buyers make will be recorded, and you can see statistics about them on your developer center's profile. So like you can see statistics about which are most popular items you sold, like about the buyers. You can also contact your buyers because you have access to their email addresses. We keep track of that, of course. So you can like do some, it's called CRM, I think, yeah.
Right.
When you contact your customers and stuff like that. Also, we have a really big documentation about ways to use the API and use cases and how to implement the API in different programming languages. We are currently working. We have just the web, the HTTP based API, and we have the Unity plugin, but we plan to make implementations of our API in every popular programming language for game development. So we have Unity now, which is one of the most, maybe the most popular game development framework in the world. But we are planning on making a C++ plugin because it's obviously one of the most popular languages for game development. We will make a Python plugin because we like Python, so that's we have to make it. But I don't know. The thing is, anything we can do to ease developers, ease the transition of developers from some other monetization platform to GameCredits, we will do it. We will make it. It's not hard for us to implement the API in a new programming language because its base implementation is really simple. It's a simple API. We think that's the biggest value, the biggest thing about our technology people will like. So that's basically the developer center.
Yeah, and I know that if any game developers looking at this hangout and listening to us talk, a lot of the stuff about blockchain technology or having a plugin API monetization system that could be new, because I mean up to now, a lot of times monetization, especially if you're selling in-game content as a developer, you had to develop that yourself. So that's all done in-house, and basically we're saying we've done it for you, and it's just a plug and play. And GameCredits is basically its own currency ecosystem. So gamers are using games and buying content with GameCredit. And it's important to know as a developer, a game developer, is that GameCredits can automatically, almost instantaneously, you can convert that into currency. So if you want to convert that into US dollars, you can do that using our platform. So gamers can use GameCredits, and you can basically transfer that right into cash, and it's in your pocket, and it's earnings.
And you would be supporting the open source community. I think that's like one of the biggest things. You would be using a currency that's free, that's not centralized, that is not being governed by any bank or country anywhere. It's totally open, and you are supporting the community. So you are also supporting the future tools that will be made. So the whole community and the whole framework of tools.
Right. Exactly. Well, like I said, today we just kind of wanted to do a quick down and dirty intro for those of you who are developers, indie game developers who might be seeing us for the first time, and hopefully this was some good just introductory information just to kind of maybe get your taste buds wet for wanting more information. And if you do want more information, you can go to onlinegames.credit or gamecredits.net, or you can email us directly at info@gamecredits.net, info@gamecredits.net, and we have a whole team of developers, marketers, community members, enthusiasts who are here and excited about what games you have to bring to the table, and ready to use your games and be a part of your ecosystem. So thanks for joining us today. Again, if you have any more information, please contact us. Nicholas, thank you, because I know you're really, really busy. You're probably going to crash and go to bed now.
Yeah.
All right. And thanks again for joining us. Next week we'll have another hangout and have some more important updates about our community. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Bye.